just like the people in Ephesus, we live in very dangerous days. And so Paul says this. He says, because you're living in dangerous times, because you have to make intentional decisions with the limited time you have, life's really short. Be careful. Be careful how you live. Don't be foolish. Don't be unwise. Don't be people who don't understand. I want you, he would say, to live in a certain way because of the dangerousness around you. Establish some guardrails because there's a lot of possibility of going off the edge this way or that way. I don't want you to wreck your car. I don't want you to destroy your life. I don't want you to have that disaster come because you are in very, very difficult, dangerous times. And so he moves on, and here's the first key command that he gives in verse 17. He says this, do not live as someone who is foolish, but understand what God's will for you is. Now this is an interesting little word, this word understand in the original language. Isn't that kind of crazy? He is commanding us to understand something. I mean, I've just in the last week gotten back in touch with my second grade teacher, Mrs. Anderson. Love her. She was so sweet. She had great things to say about me, and I always want to hear those, you know. And she sent me an email out of the blue, and we connected and stuff. But I remember in second grade, man, in math, right? You hadn't gotten to multiplication tables yet. Today, they're like learning multiplication like kindergarten. But we were just getting to like some, long subtraction or something, right? And you remember those days in school when your teacher would say, okay, Brian Bellflower, go up to the board. Brian and Kelly and Janie, you guys go up to the board. And so you go up to the board, and you're, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this problem? You're trying to write it. You're like, oh shoot, I don't know. And you finally turn around to the teacher and you say, teacher, I don't understand. I don't understand number 3. I don't understand how to do this, right? How can Paul command us to understand? I mean, just what if the teacher were to say, just understand. Just that problem number 3. Just get it. Just understand it. And so it's very hard when I read this, when Paul just says this. He says, understand what the Lord's will is for you. But for anyone in here who is a Christ follower, for anyone in here who says you're a Christian, right? Here's what God says. He says this, I want you to face up to what God's will is for you. He says, I want you to embrace my will for you. I want you to accept my will for you. I want you to take it and face up to what God wants you to do. And so here's basically what he's saying. In the arena that you most need it, in your marriage, I want you to face up to what I want you to do. In your parenting, I want you to face up to it. In other words, it's time to embrace what I want and do it my way. In the area of your finances, you've been going down this wrong path. It's not worked for you. I want you to do it my way. And whatever the arena is, here's what he says. He says this, it's time to stop deceiving yourself. It is time to stop acting like everything's okay when it's not. It is time to stop smearing and kind of smoothing things over. It's time to stop doing it your own way. And I now want you to face up to what I want for you and your life. That's what he's saying here when he says understand God's will. In other words, you don't need more information. You don't need more studies. You don't need all this other stuff. He says, you know what? You know in this area what to do. You know you've been really, really close to the guardrail and close to going over the abyss. Now just do what you know to do.